Alright, Shalom. This is the brother Iwalamia from GMS Chicago. Come back at you with another lesson. A fairly short lesson. I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, top of this truth. Salutations to the hopeful elect that's around the four corners of the earth. And also the brothers that teach this word in sincerity. Once again, I'm the brother Iwalamia. Got a quick testimony to talk about, regarding, World War III. You Jakes, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans should not be joining, E's army, especially the times we're living in, because, the Lord is actually finna destroy those Jakes, that joins hand in hand with Esau, because I have a buddy I break bread with at work, or whatnot. He's talking about joining the U.S. Navy, for about 4 years. They gave him a contract for 4 years, not knowing what town we're living in. The armies, the kingdoms over the world, it's being dragged down to World War III. And you Jakes that's in this army is ultimately going to be destroyed. So this is the book of Revelations 11-14. The second war was past, and behold, the third war coming quickly. Right, we're in the midst of World War III right now. We're entering the time of World War III right now. And we're on our way to march the end of this society. So it's not a time for, you Jakes, to be joining the East Army. Because you're ultimately going to be destroyed in the process. Because ultimately this is the heathen's judgment, which is that nuclear fire. This is Isaiah 13-15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Right, they should fall by the sword. Everybody that's joined, that's joined hand in hand with Esau. That's including you Jakes, that's in these different armies. The testimony I just brought out just a few seconds ago. I have a buddy, he's an Issachar, right? I break bread with at work or whatnot. Talking about joining the Navy for 4 years, just to make some money, and you not knowing that it's ultimately going to be to your demise, because what? They're ultimately going to tell you, to take that Marcus Aurelius, going back to Revelations 13-16, and you're ultimately going to be a target for the Lord, For everyone that shall be found shall fall by the edge of fall by the sword. Right, you're going to die, in this war that's to come up, Because what? You're not supposed to be fighting the E's wars, because it has nothing to do with you at the end of the day, This is the book of Job 3-9, because this is what's ultimately going to happen. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty man, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up." Because what? Yahweh Shemel Shah is bringing all these different nations down for World War III. See if there's anything left. Verse 10, "Beat your plowshares into swords and your point hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong." Right, the Lord is building up these smaller countries, to have nuclear capability, And ultimately, if you're in these different wars, you're ultimately going to perish, in that war. Because at the same time, the Lord is going to make his return, and you're going to be destroyed by the Lord. Talking to our people that's in these armies, Verse 11, "Assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither, cause thy mighty one to come down, O Lord." Right, the Lord is gathering the heathen. And like I said, if you Jakes, that's a part of this army. If you're a part of these different armies, the Lord is going to gather you too, for that destruction. And ultimately, the Lord put you there for a reason, to be destroyed anyways. How it may sound, but it's the truth at the end of the day. Verse 12, "Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about." Right, the Lord, is gathering these heathen nations, for war, Because what? For what they did to the Israelites. This is the Lord's judgment. Yahweh Shaphat, the Lord's judgment. And like I said, keep saying, you Jakes should not be joining, E's army, because what? It never benefited you in the first place. You come back home, you come back home, they talk about you in your so-called own country. You're put down in your own country, you're oppressed in your own country, so to say. And you trying to join E's armies, at the end of the day, for what? It's vain. Let's continue. I'm not going to make this a long lesson, but I'm going to close out with this one. This is the book of Joel 3 and 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Right, the Lord is bringing down these different nations for judgment, into the valley of Yehoshaphat, which I said, which is the Lord's judgment. And it was never for Jake, to go down there and be judged with these heathens. But like I said, since you're a part, since you join the hand in hand with Esau's army, you're going to take part of that judgment also, So in these times that's to come, it makes no sense to join E's army, because ultimately, you're going to be destroyed with them, And ultimately, they're going to tell you to take that, Marcus Aurelius, going back to Revelations 13 and 16. And ultimately, you're going to have no way out from that point on, So if you're in your right mind, you have the opportunity to repent in this land. Don't join E's army, because we're at the end of this thing, and America is ultimately going to be destroyed at the end of the day. So Lord will, I hope this is edifying to the elect. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Salutations to the hopeful elect that's around the four corners of the earth, and also the brothers that teach this word in sincerity. Lord willing, I hope this is edifying. The Lord willing, I'll come back with another lesson soon. Shalom.